Welcome to Diablos in Podcastica with Toomey and Wadzilla.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Diablos in Podcastica. As always, I am Joshua Toomey, joined by...
Oh, yeah! Wadzilla, baby! Yeah, you hear that? That's plastic. That's not a beer. I'm drinking coronavirus vodka.
Oh, man. Got to keep that corona down.
Yeah, and by coronavirus vodka, that means normally what I drink, the cheap vodka that I drink, was all sold out because, you know, people freaking out and hoarding and shit like that. So I had to buy a new rot gut vodka.
Nice.
That I was scared of, but I was pleasantly surprised because it was actually $1 cheaper than the usual shit I drink, which means they paid me $1 to drink it. And honestly, got to tell, with enough cranberry juice, I can't tell the difference. So,
and the cranberry juice is good for your urinary tract infection, so there you go.
Exactly. Doesn't help with the clap, but no urinary tract infection, so there's that.
That's always nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, how is the, since last week, how is the area down there, coronavirus? Are you coronavirus free still and going back to work and all that good stuff?
Well, yeah, I'm back at work. You know, so far, so good, so what? We do that a lot. But, yeah, I mean, as far as I know, I don't have it. I think we need to implement, like, weekly testing where I work because of the environment and what we're surrounded by. And, you know, but as of right now, they don't do it. But I'm not as sick as I was, so whatever I had has seemed to pass, and I'm back doing it, you know, but still being careful. Still I wear a face mask at work, you know.
Nice.
But that's just for the other people so they don't have to see my puss, you know. You know, but I still sneeze and fart and cough on people whenever possible.
Well, the mask is nice, too, because it covers up the herpes, so they won't see those anytime they flare up.
It's a cold sore. It's a cold sore. Jesus.
Well, good, man. Well, I think everything up here
That's what your mom told me, anyway.
So, yeah, I think we're doing pretty good up here. I don't think we're... I haven't seen too many shutdowns yet. You know, we had a guy at work have to go home because his dad thought he had the coronavirus, but it turned out to be just like pneumonia. So other than that, I mean, we really haven't had any scares or anything, so hopefully we'll get out of this soon.
I got a prediction, and hopefully I'm wrong, which I often am. But I got a feeling they're going to start opening up areas too soon. And I know it sucks, you know, because I'm one to talk. Hey, I still have a job. Even when I was off, I was getting paid, you know, because I had sick hours accumulated and stuff like that. I get that. I know there's a lot of people suffering right now, but I do think they're starting to reopen a little bit too soon. And my fear is you're going to start seeing other New Yorks. And by that, you know, of course, New York is the epicenter and is hit worse. But you see it kind of going down the coast, man. Philly's getting it real bad. It's kind of going up to Massachusetts, too. And I think they reopen too soon. You're going to see other areas start to turn into what happened in New York. Mm-hmm. And my fear is they're going to open shit up, and then it's going to get closed down again.
Right.
You know, I hope I'm wrong, man. You know, I don't want to be right, but that's just my gut feeling. I still see a lot of people not taking this shit seriously, and I just see, you know, the death numbers going up, the case numbers going up, but still, you know, this is a leftist hoax and everything, and you're starting to see all these people protesting now, the shutdowns and shit, and, you know.
Yeah, people are going to start going stir crazy pretty soon, and I think the riots will come afterwards.
Yeah. And I get it. I mean, we're a terrible country to do a shutdown because we are so spoiled rotten. You know, we're not used to this. You know, especially these generations are not used to any kind of going without. And we don't know how to handle it. I see a lot of people bitching at protests, and the number one thing I see people bitching about, I need a haircut. I need a haircut. It's always like the ugliest, fattest people complaining about the haircut. Like, motherfucker, it don't matter what kind of haircut you get, you're still a fat piece of shit, okay? No, you know, and nobody's going to fight. A haircut ain't going to fix those fucking teeth, you know?
It'll distract you from the teeth.
I do. My heart goes out to small businesses and people who aren't getting paid, and you see these stimulus packages going out where these huge corporations that don't even need this money, you know, that have enough money and profits to take care of their people and do the right thing, you know, are getting all this money. And small businesses, you know, I have a lot of friends who own restaurants around here and stuff like that. They're having a real hard time getting shit, and I feel for them. But I just, like I say, I got a bad feeling this shit going to boomerang and hit you in the back of the fucking head and knock you out. And, hey, this is one time I do hope I'm wrong, but that's my gut. All righty. So
I know some people that
are off my soapbox and ready to talk to our listeners.
Our henchmen.
All right, then. Well, some people that are never wrong are a henchman this week. And if you want to become a henchman, make sure you are sharing from the Facebook page so you can get your name shouted out on a future episode of Diablos and Podcastica. But since we've been doing the interview episodes, and then we did the kind of catch-up episode last week, I'm reading a lot of names that shared the interviews with Chuck Billy and John Levin in last week's episode and the episode before that. So we've got a nice list here. So the henchmen this week are Joseph Staub, Adam Cox, Mark Alden Taylor, Freeform Rock Podcast, Chris Sinzak, Eric Jordan, Devin Dungan, Anthony Bonex, Samuel Wetz, Christopher Ellefson, Eric Cinnamon, Keith Rockford, James West, Mike Tyler, Joseph Sawsville, Cal Hines, Stuart Clemente, and Jay Sabluski. So those are our henchmen this week.
That is crazy, man, because I have fucked all those guys. Well, a couple of them fucked me, but, you know, no need to go into specifics.
Well, hey, as long as you give them a reach around.
Yeah, well, yeah, dude, that's like, you know, that's like salad before the steak. You know, you're going to get it. You know, it's the right thing to do. But I want to thank each and every one of those guys for sharing this and keeping this shit going, because I've been very slow in the last couple of weeks. When I was on my quarantine and shit, man, I didn't go on Facebook. I wasn't promoting the show like I should. I wasn't on the Facebook page like I should. I just kind of shut down and got in my own world and kind of tuned out. Because it has been, you know, it's been hectic here in New Orleans.
Yeah,
but I'm back at it this week. I'm ready to kick ass. I'm back to doing my post every day on the pages, sharing the episodes, talking to the people, shaking babies, kissing hands. I'm recording with you today. I'm doing a guest spot on a show tomorrow. I'm doing another fan episode of Rock and Metal Combat Thursday. So I'm back into it and getting my priorities straight and trying to get back to normal, even though we're not at normal. But thanks to all the people who did that, because you helped the show grow, and I'm going to get back there and do my part too.
Nice.
So let's get to some reviews here, shall we?
We shall.
And as I was telling my esteemed colleague here, we're going to start at the first reviews. We're going to read like 4 a week till we're all done. Because, if we do this skipping around shit, my dumb ass, I'm going to forget what we read. I'm going to get lost. And I want to read all these motherfuckers and then, shame you motherfuckers who listen but haven't left one yet. I'm good at that. I was raised Catholic. And I got the sore ass to prove it. But I'm going to read our very first review here. This is a 5-star episode entitled Best New Podcast Out. And this is by Hot Topic Squish. And just hearing that name, is that a fellow podcast of ours, you think?
No, I know who that is, actually.
Oh, you know who it is? That's not a podcaster?
No, that is not a podcaster.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I thought it was a podcaster.
No,
but he
no.
left a 5-star review. He says, and I quote, Toomey and Wadzilla nail it.
Perfect.
And I like this because he's lazy like me. You know, to the point, simple. Hey, you made the effort, but you didn't type a lot. I get that. I still like what you said. So thank you, Hot Topic Squish.
All right, next up, we've got the Hasidic Headbanger, 5 stars. He's back. What a podcast. I'm new to Toomey, and I love what I hear. As for Wadzilla, he's the master. This guy was born to rock on air. Everyone needs to listen. If you don't, then you're an idiot. Metal and comedy, the combination, or the best combination.
Nice. Thank you, Hasidic Headbanger. I love that. Shalom, brother. All right. I'll read the next one. This is entitled Best New Podcast from Two Old Legends. 5-star review. This is from Matler CT75. He says, and I quote, only 3 episodes released so far, and I'm hooked. Wadzilla and Josh instantly connect with great chemistry, great sound quality, product, and editing only complement the content of the show. Metal and rock music is the foundation of the show, but pulls from other genres of music as well. Ian is on fire as always with his humor, while Josh steers the runaway Ford Escort from crashing into Vince Neil's Porsche 911 head-on. I highly recommend you give this new show a listen. Once you do, please subscribe and share. Matt W. Oh, so that's probably Matt Weller's dick there.
Yeah, that sounds like who that is. I do love that. I do love that review. I believe we might have read these last two on the podcast before. But
as I'm reading it, I think about it, but that was like a month ago. You know how much shit's happened to me since last month?
Yeah, right. How much shit has happened to everybody? You know, how about we start a podcast right before a pandemic?
Yeah, I know, but at least we have an excuse. Shit, we might get a loan out of this. Like, hey, nobody's listening, and they'll be like, but everybody's home, nobody's working. Like, shut up, you! Give me money.
Shut your face.
All right, you read the last one for this week.
All right, 5 stars from Joseph Staub. Nice henchman coming through here. Evolution and Revolution. I've been listening to Ian Wadley for 6 years. I do feel sorry for that. So, my condolences, Mr. Staub. On the Rock and Metal Combat.
No need to ad-lib here. All right.
I've been listening to Ian Wadley for 6 years on the Rock and Metal Combat podcast. I've been listening to Joshua Toomey's show for many years as well. Both of them are amazing podcasters, and I'm so excited for the two of them to be coming together to create a new experience for all of their fans. If you know either of them, or both of them, it's going to be great, so check it out. And I enjoy that one too, man. I love that the early adopters of the Diablo Sim Podcastica show here get it.
Yeah.
They got it right away, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and fuck it if we read them twice, man. That's so good, and we don't have a lot. So
I might need to start reading that one just myself every day, just to kind of get my day started.
Yeah, there you go. Don't jump off that cliff, man. Joseph Staub digs what you're doing.
Well, I dig some Joseph Staub too. All
right, well, here's an announcement I gotta make because it's time for the giveaway.
I'll just I'll make the sound effects with my voice so I don't have to go back and edit them in later.
See, I knew you were going to get burned out with all the great shit you do on the show. Now we're getting cheap on you. All right, well, we had a giveaway, what was it, probably last month now, where we gave away an awesome signed CD from Scotty and Brian Posehn, the new Brian Posehn comedy metal album. But the gentleman who won it said, don't worry about it. I don't need it. But hey, somebody's got to get this motherfucker. So if you are interested, I would like to give this to the runner-up.
Let's do it.
The one that I would have picked. And that was Tom B. from New Jersey, and he was the guy, and I'm sure we'll reread his review in a future episode, but basically he said, in his that he didn't know either of our shows, but was
checked
turned
us out
on
on
to
the
us.
CMS, yeah.
Yeah, heard us on CMS and decided to check it out and love the show. So, Tim B from New Jersey, okay? Like, New Jersey doesn't have enough fucking problems right now. We want to send you something in the mail that, potentially could kill you. Wash your hands, Toomey.
Yeah, I'll wash my hands, and if I get the sanitizer on the CD, it'll probably rub the autographs off. But
yeah, sure it's sanitizer. Sure it is.
I rub my balls on it.
Yeah, I want to dip my balls in it. Nice. Haven't referenced the state in about 30 fucking years. But anyway, Tom B from New Jersey, if you would like this awesome gift, if not, I'm going to make Toomey give it to me. Because, I like shit that's signed. But Tom B from New Jersey, if you would like this, I would love to give it to you. Yeah. So contact either myself or Mr. Toomey here on Facebook so we can get your info and send that out to you. But now I would like to pick the winner of something. Man, I really wanted this motherfucker. But Josh's like, no. We got to give it away to a listener. So, all right. This is the signed new album from Sepultura, Quadra, which is really good. Even people who aren't fans of, the post-Max are liking this album. And I love it all. And I really like this one. I would love this one. But I'm going to give that one to the author of this review. So let me share this. Now, this one I will skip because I'll remember reading this motherfucker. Hopefully. Anyway, this is entitled When Mega Powers Unite, a 5-star review from Jimmy James 97. He says, and I quote, "This is an accumulation of two iconic rock and roll podcasters coming together to create a brand new podcasting faction, the likes of which the world has never seen. The chemistry between Wadzilla and Josh can be heard from the first episode. If you are a true music fan, this podcast is essential listening. Go ahead, call your boss and tell him you can't come into work and spend the day binging this great new podcast. You won't be disappointed." I love any review that encourages people to play hooky. I love that shit. I was expelled for playing hooky, and I was class president. That's a true fucking story. I was impeached. And I really, unlike fucking Trump, I really had to go. But anywho, I love that one. I love me some Jimmy James, and yes, I know this guy. Yes, I love this guy, but I'm not picking him just because I know him. I did love that review, and like I said, I encourage everybody to take off work, if you can afford it.
Right.
There's a lot of people heeding my advice and taking off work right now. Probably not by choice, though. But Jimmy James, you are the winner of the Sepultura signed CD. And Jimmy, I know you got my information, so when you hear this, send me your address so I can forward it to Mr. Toomey here, and we can get that in the mail to you. Appreciate you, brother.
So when Jimmy wakes up for breakfast, does he nudge you or does he call you?
He usually hands me the bill.
Right, there we go.
And I'm like, oh, man, I wanted anal too? Shit.
That's extra $20. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, here is my plea. We need some more of these motherfuckers. We got a lot of them out the gate. But now it's kind of slowed down, so we want some more people to leave reviews, leave some ratings, because it does help. Helps us bring more episodes where we're interviewing the people you want to hear, because a lot of them, it's a new podcast, so what they're going to do, what their management's going to do is, let's see what these guys are doing on iTunes, because if they're not popular, we don't want to waste our time on a show nobody hears, so let them know you listen to this show. Let them know you love it. The more popular this gets, the more guests we can get, the better guests we can get. So please do that, or there will be repercussions.
Please
That's
and
all I'm
thank you.
say.
Yes,
please and thank you.
Well, cool, man. Well, before we dive into the news, I actually texted you earlier and asked you, what years were you in Chicago?
And I text you back. I was at work, so I kind of text you and forgot about it. Very interested. Why you ask?
So the new documentary on ESPN came out about the Bulls' final run, and they were kind of it's called The Last Dance. First 2 episodes, pretty damn phenomenal. But they were kind of going over the, how the Bulls were pre-Jordan, and they were saying that the indoor soccer league outdrew the Bulls at some point in the same building. And I just wanted to see what your memories are of the Bulls pre-Jordan, and then maybe a little bit of the Jordan era as it started.
Well, I am not. I'll admit I'm not a huge basketball fan, but when it comes to basketball, I am a Lakers fan. And before everybody no. I became a Lakers fan the same time I became a Raiders fan in the late 70s.
Okay.
Because I was pretty much born and raised in the Chicagoland area. I admit I lived, 50 minutes south of Chicago. But when I was 4 and 5, I lived out in California. And that's when I became a Raiders fan, and that's when I became a Lakers fan. I became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar era Lakers is when I became a fan. But I'll admit, I'm not, when it comes to basketball, playoffs. Okay, playoffs I'm going to watch. It's what is there, 2,000 games a season?
Something
I ain't watching all that shit, football, there's one game a week, and you better win it. Fucking basketball, you could lose 2,000 games and still, make the playoffs. But I don't remember the Bulls being big really at all till Jordan got there.
Right.
Everything back home was Bears. Bears, go Bears. Bears. Whether the Bears were doing good or bad, it was all about the Bears. Or the Blackhawks. Blackhawks always had a loyal following. The building they're talking about is the classic, the old Chicago Stadium, where the Blackhawks would play, the Bulls would play. Soccer, is that even a fucking sport? Jesus Christ. That's like gymnastics. It is.
It was the, what was it, the Chicago Sting, I think is what they were called?
Yeah, the Sting. Yeah, the Sting. Oh, my God. I mean, really, does anybody, that's from this country give a shit about fucking soccer? Oh, my God. I mean, yeah, you got to be in shape to play it. I respect the athleticism, but what a fucking boring game to watch. What a boring fucking sissy fucking game. Ugh.
Well, there goes all of our Major League Soccer money. Thanks, man. Thanks for our sponsorship.
And hey, I get it's something inbred in us Americans because everywhere else on the planet Earth, soccer, or as they call it, football, is the number one sport.
Right.
But here in America, man, we just don't get that shit. Do not get it. Never have, never will. Do I respect them as athletes? Yes, I do. Is that a sport? Not for men. Rugby, I don't watch, but I at least respect because that's kind of, rugby, that's some bad motherfuckers right there. They're like, that's like MMA. That's like soccer and MMA put together.
Right.
Yeah, they run around like fucking bunch of fucking pansies, but, they beat the shit out of each other, too. But I gotta admit, like hockey, I'm not a huge hockey fan. I pull for the Blackhawks, but I find hockey, I like hockey if I'm at the game, but I can't watch it on TV.
Hockey's definitely a live event.
And I really don't give a shit till they start fighting. Because it's just too back and forth. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know. And a lot of my friends are huge, especially growing up in the Midwest, huge, we're closer to Canada.
Well, I do love that. I do love that I asked you a question that you've yet to answer. And you've talked about soccer and everything else, but you spent 20 minutes.
I ramble. Oh yeah,
Mr. OCD down there. No, I was just more of being in the area at the time. I mean, obviously people weren't talking about the Bulls, and then all of a sudden, the greatest player of all time is in town, and people started going. People obviously started going nuts for the Bulls.
Oh yeah, it was a phenomenon. And I loved the shoes. I loved Air Jordans. But I wasn't a Bulls fan. I didn't get that excited about it. I was just like, whatever. What are the Lakers doing?
Right.
But
because you went to the Chris Czynszak School of Fandom, I was there for like
fucked
50.
Up.
I was in the area for 15 minutes, and now I'm a fan of the team.
Yeah, but what I respect about that though is at least you stick with it no matter what. What I can't stand fair weather, like people who jump who's ever winning. That's who they care about. I don't like that. Man. Obviously, I'm a Raiders fan. I'm not fair weather because it's been overcast for about fucking 30 fucking years. But I pick my teams. I stick with them. Now, when it comes to baseball, I'm Cubs, man. I'm Cubs all the fucking way. I do like the Dodgers, again, because of when I was out there, but Cubs will always be number one in baseball. Always, always. Fuck the White Sox. Fucking South Side fucking scumbags. It's all about fucking Cubs. But no, to get back to answer your question, it totally changed. And there was a lot of pride in that because now you had a basketball team that was, competitive. And not only competitive, but you had the best. But, what I think is unfortunate is how much shit is put on just Jordan when you had a stellar cast around him, and coaching, and Scottie Pippen and a lot of others. It wasn't just Jordan by himself, but he was a phenom, and he handled. I think he handled himself with class.
Yeah. I think this documentary is a very. It's the last season they were all together for the 6th championship, and I guess at the beginning of the season, the NBA and the Bulls and even Michael Jordan agreed to be filmed for a year, and then they've yet to ever put this footage out because I guess Jordan had the say so in yes or no in this thing, and he just now like finally gave the okay to put it together and put it out. But it's pretty well so far, man. It's pretty well done, and it's funny, you talking about that, about being a fan of this, that, and that. I didn't really get into sports until the Titans came to town. Like we were, and in the '90s when the Bulls were going on, like I knew of the Bulls. I knew that they were doing well because of like classmates and stuff. But I was like so rabbit hole, music and. Sports, I guess, at that time was maybe more, just jockish and whatever, and that just wasn't my thing. And then until the Titans came to town, I started going to games, getting into it, and now I'm like, going to Predators games and all that stuff for the last, 20, 25 years. But yeah, it's like in the 90s, I was like so focused on music that like kind of the sports world just kind of passed me by. And then, so watching the documentary today was kind of cool just to see how everything was going on.
I was a much bigger fan of that last run because I loved it when the Bulls had Rodman.
Yeah, Rodman.
I fucking love Rodman. I mean, really, besides his basketball playing, probably our best ambassador to North Korea we've ever had. He's my second favorite ex-husband of Carmen Electra. I love Rodman. And
Dave Navarro, number one?
Yeah, big fan of that fruitcake. I love his guitar playing, though, when he plays guitar. Don't even give me... I have this love-hate relationship with Dave Navarro. I really love him, but he gets on my last fucking nerve at the same time. But, I'll keep sidetracking here. But no, Jordan was. It was phenomenal, and it was something to be... proud about your hometown and stuff like that. And that's one thing, like, I don't hate the Bears or anything. Like, I always pull for the Bears unless they're playing the Raiders, but I'm not really that 2-team guy, but I do love that their hometown, to me it's Raiders or nothing, but I always want to see the Bears do good and be competitive.
Just judging by your age, even the 85 Bears would have been like a sweet spot for you. 11, 12.
It was a great time, and it was one of those things where, again, I was happy that they were doing good, and the Super Bowl Shuffle was fun. And I remember Refrigerator was supposed to come to our school, and we were all excited about that, because my school was out in the sticks. And they came and landed in a helicopter on our football field and shit, and it was supposed to be the refrigerator, and I forget who else, but we ended up getting 2 rookies instead. Like refrigerator canceled and some shit.
Nice.
And we're like, oh, we're all ready for a refrigerator to come out, and then it's 2 like rookies, and you're like, like what the fuck? Like, and neither one of them I think were starters, so I was a little disappointed. But I got
just side note on that. The Titans last year did take a Titan to school day or something like that on their day off, and they would always film them and put them up on their website or on the Facebook page. And one of the first ones was a practice squad player, and everybody's just like ripping them. Like, what are you doing sending like the 5th tight end to this thing? And then the next guy they sent was an undrafted free agent that barely made the team. Like, come on, man, you can get somebody better than that, Jesus.
Yeah, no, yeah, and that's basically what we got. And we're like, oh, man.
Yeah, you got the same thing, man.
But I got to say, that was one of the rare days that I wore somebody else's colors. Because I did wear a Bears, I had a Bears sweatshirt that I got for Christmas that I wore that day. But other than that was the last time I wore another team's colors. And I'll never, like, I always bet on the Raiders, and I've lost a lot of money. But I'll never do one of those bets like, you hear a lot of these amongst football fans. If your team loses, you got to wear my team's jersey.
Oh, nice.
I won't do that. I won't do that. I'm like, no, because I ain't wearing nobody else's colors. Last time I wore fucking Bears colors was, the Super Bowl year,
Crazy.
And from now on, nah, I'm fucking silver and black till the day I die. Like I say, still hope the Bears do good. Hope the Raiders do better.
Yeah, we're about to see my Facebook timeline today with Gronkowski going to the Buccaneers. Also, the
I
Patriots.
Can't believe that shit. I can't believe that. Why ruin a perfectly good WWF career?
I know he's the champ of something at this point, but I'm waiting to see the quote unquote Patriots fans, see how they react to this, because I remember years ago when Peyton Manning went to the Broncos, how many quote unquote Colts fans all of a sudden became Broncos fans, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think that there's a single player that would ever make me follow them to another team. Like, I will root for Mariota if he becomes the Raiders starter, but I will never wear a Raiders jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
and I respect that, because I don't want those type of fans.
Right.
I got a lot of that shit when I came to New Orleans. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you live in New Orleans, you got to be a Saints fan now."
Right.
And I'm like, how fucking stupid is that? I'm like, okay, say your job, you got transferred to Atlanta. You're going to be a fucking Falcons fan now? No. Well, why the fuck would I be a Saints fan? And especially for a team like the Saints. And oh my God. Now the Saints are a team I wish the Saints nothing but fucking losses. Because Saints fans, oh my God. Are they fucking, this post, this Drew Brees era? Because how quickly they forget that they were one of the worst teams in football for fucking from the day they started till Drew Brees came here. And now they are the cockiest sons of bitches and think like, and I get it. Everybody loves your team, but New Orleans is a town where, you see a good amount of transplants and everything. And I see all these like, well, I live in New Orleans now. Now I'm a Saints fan. And Saints fans welcoming this shit. I'm like, if my team sucked forever and then all of a sudden we do great and there's fair weather fans, I can't stand that shit. I wouldn't want to, the Raiders do great. I don't want a bunch of like Nouveau Riche fucking Raiders fans. Like, fuck you. Where were you when we sucked? Now you want to jump on a fucking bandwagon? I hate that fucking shit. I believe you have to the age of like 10, maybe 12 to pick a fucking team. If you're into sports at a young age. Right. You have to then to pick a team. And then once you got it, you fucking stick with it, and bitch, you are stuck. Be a ride or die motherfucker. Don't be no fair weather. Well, the team I like's not doing good this year, so I'm going to like that team. And then another thing I fucking hate is goddamn fantasy football. Oh, do I fucking hate that fucking pansy ass
Well, you
shit.
better be happy that you're speaking to the family fantasy football champion on the podcast right now. Would you like to ask me any questions about my fantasy team?
No, because it's gay and not in the good gay way. Not like two parts smacking each other. No, I fucking hate that shit. I hate. You know what I miss? I miss betting when like you pick the games. This team's gonna win. This team's gonna fucking lose. Okay, I got points on Monday night.
Yeah,
I hate this like. Well, I hope this team wins today because this guy is my quarterback and this guy is my that, and you just see this fucking, fair weather where you're caring about fucking players and not teams.
Right.
I have people who are fans of fucking teams that are ride or die. Like you're going to take shit every week, and I see more people who care about players now than they have team loyalty. I'm all about fucking team loyalty.
Yeah, I mean that kind of comes back around to basketball too. I mean with with LeBron, with LeBron going all over the place. He's people are fans of him and not necessarily where he plays.
Right, and there was some write-ups at the beginning of this basketball season before it went kaput. The ratings were in the fucking toilet this year for basketball. Yeah. And they attribute it to a lot of the star players were injured. And people cared more about the players than the team. They're not tuning in to see the fucking team. Oh, Steph Curry's not playing. Zion Williams not playing. This guy's hurt. Oh, I don't care till they come back. I don't give a fuck who's hurt on the fucking Raiders. I'm watching the goddamn Raiders, and I'm hoping the fucking backup better be fucking decent. I'm not like, oh, Derek Carr's eyeliner ran into his eyes. He's not playing this week. Oh, I'm not going to watch the Raider game. Fuck that shit.
The other theory on why the ratings were down was because LeBron's on a West Coast team, and so they were saying that if he was on an East Coast team, that the people that tune in for the East Coast game will leave the TV on for the night game or whatever, the 10 o'clock game or whatever. But since he's already on the West Coast, he's playing too late for the East Coast people, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's just not working out timeline wise because the NBA game starts so late on the West Coast.
Fuck LeBron James. He should have been in that fucking chopper, not fucking Kobe. I can't stand LeBron James, man. I cannot stand these fucking no loyalty, just jump for a fucking ring. And it happens in football too. It happens in a lot of other sports. But it used to be when there was dynasties, they were true dynasties, and they were built.
Right.
They were built through, coaching, through picking the right players and loyalty and people staying there, and it meant something. Now nobody has team fucking loyalty or pride. It's just jumping from, paycheck to paycheck to get that fucking ring. And what LeBron did to the fucking city of Cleveland, I thought, what a great story. A guy who, grew up in Cleveland, plays for Cleveland, that's great. This team sucks. I want to go to Miami and get a ring. Goes to Miami, gets a ring. This team sucks now. I want to go to another team. So I go back there, and like, man, when he went to the fucking Lakers, I was like, oh, fuck, man. I hated getting fucking Shaq on the fucking Lakers. I didn't like Shaq. And I met Shaq. Shaq was very nice to me. I got to say this. Shaq was a nice guy. Don't like him as a player. Don't think he's a quality player. Think he gets by on his size more than his aptitude. But I wasn't happy to have him. I don't like getting people like that on our team. And, I don't like these people who just jump for the fucking paycheck. Fuck them. Fuck them in football too. And there's plenty of them there. But man, free agency has really ruined shit. And basically, fuck fantasy football. But to answer your question, people in Chicago really rooted for Michael Jordan.
2 hours later.
Yeah, 2 hours later. This is what you get with me.
Yeah, we're 40 minutes into our metal podcast, and we need to talk about some metal.
All right, let's go to some news.
It's the news.
In news today, fuck LeBron.
All right, my one comment on LeBron is he's like, I think he's the only like high school phenomenon that lived up to the hype when he got to the league. You know, he's going to go down as arguably one of the top 10, top 5 players of all time, and he was hyped that way. You know, I remember watching his high school games on ESPN. You know, it's just most of those guys don't pan out, and I think he's going to be.
I hope Zion Williams, as much as I fucking hate New Orleans sports fans and Louisiana sports fans, I hope Zion Williams totally, you know, clobbers him in fucking stats and wins and championships and shit. Because Zion Williams really seems to be a stand-up human being as well as a fine basketball player. It's a shitty thing to see his career start off with an injury, and I hope when basketball comes back, you know, no way am I going to be a fucking Pelicans fan, but I hope he does well, because he seems like a fucking class act. LeBron James a piece of shit, and he owes me $20.
I don't like that the New Orleans teams are also plural. They need to be the New Orleans Pelican or the New Orleans Saint. Not. It's like it's just two plurals back to back throws me off. New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, there's too many of them. Unless they lose 2 weeks in a row, then nobody's at the bar. That's another thing I hate. These motherfuckers. Oh my god, the Saints are fucking winning. The bar's fucking packed. They lose 2 games. There's nobody there. I can't stand that shit. I'm there every fucking week. Whether my team, you know, we could, you know, Raiders. I've been through some horrible seasons. I watch every fucking game. You know, I don't turn my back if somebody's fucking losing. But you know what's even worse than fucking Saints fans? LSU fans. Those are the worst fans in the fucking world. Half LSU fans can't fucking spell LSU. Oh my god, you will never catch me in a bar on a Saturday during fucking LSU football season. Those are about some inbred motherfuckers. Oh my god, I wish them nothing but the worst. Fuck LSU. Oh, I hate LSU.
Well, you know, I live in the Louisville area, so we got the University of Louisville here, and then Lexington, the University of Kentucky, is like an hour and 10 minutes away. You want to talk about
a university in Kentucky? What's that? Go to the 3rd fucking grade? You a college graduate in Kentucky?
Me, no. But their fans, I can't listen to Louisville sports talk radio. It's like it's either the you know, somebody calling in that the Cats suck or someone calling in that the Cards suck, and it's like it's just like the most insane conversations you've ever heard in your life. I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
All right, well, what's going on in rock and metal?
Fuck, man, we're 45 minutes too. You want to just do what are your picks for the the NFL draft this week?
All right, well, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that wide receiver we're looking at. What's his name? Like CD something or other?
CD Lamb.
Yeah. Because we definitely need some fucking wide receivers. But, there was talk of us going after Tua from Alabama. But now the predictions are he's going to go to the Chargers, which would suck. I don't know. It's hard. I hate college football. I really do. I can't stand college football. The only thing worse than college football is college football fans. But a lot of them, they look great because they're playing against guys that are going to be selling fucking car insurance next year.
Right.
You know, you really show me something when you play against other pros. And let's see, because, how many of these, these top fucking college athletes are busts? Most of them. A lot of times your fucking Tom Brady's are guys that were chose way down the line. It's always these, oh, look at Brian Bosworth. Yeah, look at Brian fucking Bosworth. Best thing that fucker did was Stone Cold, the movie. Great movie, by the way. But his football career, not so much. So, I don't know. I would kind of like to get Tua because I don't think Carr's ever been the same ever since he got fucking hurt. And, that dude we got from you guys, you can have him back. So
well, I was going to say you do love injury-prone Hawaiian quarterbacks, so
yeah, not so much. I don't know.
Tua grew up with Mariota, so
right. And some people say watch out because they're worried about the injuries with him, but a lot of people say this guy's going to be a sleeper. And plus LSU people hate Alabama. And, fuck, who doesn't hate Alabama? But, just because LSU hates them makes me like them. So roll tide, let's get this guy. But if not, probably being realistically what we really need, we need some wide receivers. So hopefully we get CD fucking Ham Radio or whatever the fuck his name is. And
nice.
He turns out we need somebody to catch the ball because last year we put all our eggs into fucking Antonio Brown and everybody knows how that fucking turned out.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. We're picking 29th, so we AFC Championship game. It's hard to tell who's going to get to the drop that far down. You know what I'm saying? So it's best player available at this point.
Yeah, that's a very sad story. Anyway, what's going on in rock and metal?
All right, what you got?
It's the news.
Here's one sad story. I've never heard of this fucking band. Have you ever heard of Falling in Reverse?
I was actually going to bring this one up, man. That's one of my, listeners of this show are not going to like them, but I enjoy some of their stuff.
What are they?
Like the screamo emo stuff. Very popular in that scene.
I've never fucking heard of them. Not huge into that scene, but who knows? Maybe I'm like them. But anyway, their guitar player, Derek Jones, dead at 35. That sucks.
Yeah,
35, very, very young to die. It doesn't say in the story how he passed away. I clicked on it to see. And the sad thing I saw is he lost his wife last year to cancer.
So that's what I've seen some speculation on what happened with him, but probably coronavirus.
Really?
No.
Wow, that's
not at all.
Okay. Did he OD or kill himself? Or
I mean, some people have said killing himself. Some people have said drugs. So I don't know.
Well, either way, I mean, terrible thing. 35 is very young.
Yeah.
Very, very sad that he, I lost somebody I loved, last year. So I know that
Ralph.
brings on, depression and shit like that. So sad to see.
Come on, man. You missed my joke in there. Jesus.
Okay. Fuck her. I'm glad she's dead.
No, you said you lost someone that you loved last year, and I said, who, Ralph?
Oh, no. No. That was this year, and he was just sex. But, sad to see. Sad to see.
Yeah, definitely sad to see. I was going to bring that one up, man. It's in my terrible taste in music. They've, I can put them on occasionally and get into them. Not something I go to a lot, but it's some good stuff, man. All right. One of your favorite bands, and we'll get kind of back into sports here, but Disturbed's David Drainman has been dying to sing the U.S. national anthem at the Super Bowl. And if this means that he will die, let him sing it. He can have it.
Yeah, he needs to sing the national anthem at a soccer game. All right, because that's where he belongs. And God, I really hate this cue ball motherfucker, man. I really hate this guy. And I saw him one year at an Ozfest. Not only performing, but I saw him backstage, and he just seemed like a fucking prick then. And you see interviews with this guy, and these guys are terrible. And then I see people who even hate him go, oh, their cover of Sound of Silence is fucking awesome. Well, you know what? I hated that song to begin with. I fucking hate Simon and Garfunkel, bar like one or two songs. Oh my God. And I don't know. Fuck Disturbed. Disturbed is everything that is wrong with, Disturbed deserves like the shit that gets thrown at Nickelback. That same shit needs to be thrown at fucking Disturbed. They're fucking horrible. They're just as bad as Nickelback. Just as fucking bad. I'm not defending Nickelback here, but I'm just saying Disturbed is that fucking bad. That fucking bad. I hate that fucking
not a
band.
fan. Not a fan at all.
And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that because you like a lot of shit. You know,
Absolutely.
so I was like, oh man, you know, that ought to be the thing. Like if even Josh Toomey says, nah, not my bag, really pack it up, you know. Ugh. All right, well, one of the few death metal bands I like, 6 Feet Under, released the title of their new album entitled Nightmares of the Decomposed.
Oof.
You know, if you can't understand that, then you probably like death metal. I got high hopes for that. This is a band that I'm going to be talking about on the show that I'm guesting on next tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'm doing favorite 6 Feet Under songs, like top 10 of a certain era. I believe we're doing, and that's going to be with DJ Scribble. So check that out. I'll definitely give links when that episode's posted. But this new 6 Feet Under album is going to be the first one recorded with former Cannibal Corpse guitar player and former Deicide guitar player Jack Owen.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in 6 Feet Under now, but this will be the first album, you know, with his contributions and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I love 6 Feet Under. They're a guilty pleasure for me. I got to admit, you know, since the classic lineup broke up, I haven't been too much into them. I mean, I still buy their albums. I'll always check out 6 Feet Under for some reason, even though I'm not into death metal. I like them. And I do like some death metal. I've really gotten into death a lot lately. The band Death. I like some Deicide. I like some Obituary. But it's not one of those things where normally I can put on, like I could listen to a whole album from start to finish. You know, after a while I'm like, oh, okay, all right, enough of this. You know, I want to hear some Cinderella.
There you go.
But no, I do love 6 Feet Under. I've seen them live a bunch of times. Always a fucking good time. And I got high hopes for this because I really do think they lost their way since, you know, Terry Butler was left, Greg Gall, and Swanson left on guitar. It just hasn't been the same to me. And I'm hoping Jack Owen infuses some kind of new life into the band. So I'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Let's see here. Testament's Chuck Billy says, we're in the best place we've been as a band. During an appearance on the Brutally Speaking podcast, which shows that he'll go on any show. No, those guys are good. Dan and John Beatty over there, good guys. Good friends of the show, the Brutally Speaking podcast.
Oh, nice. I love those guys.
Yeah, they're great. But man, yeah, I definitely think they are in the best place they've been as a band. So definitely loving the new album.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I definitely love the new album. And that's good to hear because it didn't sound like they were in the greatest place when they did the last album. What the fuck was that one with all the snakes on the cover and shit?
What, Brotherhood of the Snake?
Yeah. I liked that one. It wasn't their best. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as Dark Roots of the Earth and Formation of the Damnation. But it seemed like they were in a bad place at that time. Like, you know, people weren't contributing like they should. Like Skolnick was kind of mailing it in during that time. And so if they're all on the same page, yeah, that's great. And I think it came across on the album. I really dig it. I'll love it. I love it. So good to hear. And whenever bands start touring again, I hope they come back here, man. I fucking love me some Testament. Now, I've heard some things that we might not see touring till 22. Have you heard this?
I mean, I've heard 21, but I haven't heard 22, so I think that let's just get this crap over with and let's get some shows going.
Yeah. Good, hopefully, because a lot of the bands we love don't have a lot, well, especially me, don't have a lot of time left. I guess I'll be watching a lot of people just, you know, performing from their bedroom. All right, well, here's a story that really pisses me off. Oh, I saw this title and I just wanted to smack my fucking laptop. Jack Osbourne celebrates 17 years of sobriety. I really fucking hate this shit. I've been sober for blah, blah, blah. Who gives a fuck? Why announce it's been so many years that you had to quit something you suck at? Like, I suck at drinking so bad that it's been a year that I've been able, since I've been able to drink. I hate, it's like, I can't fucking juggle. I don't, like, it's been 17 years since I stopped trying to juggle. God damn it, stop announcing that you suck at something.
Right.
As fun as drinking and drugs. Drinking and drugs is a lot of fun as long as you can fucking handle it and as long as you can do it, and keep your job, keep your money, keep your wife, If you can't do that and you need to quit, I get it. But don't go announcing that shit like you should be proud of it. You should be ashamed.
I've never understood why you should get praise for doing something that you should have never started in the first place. Like, I've never done drugs. Like, I've smoked weed, but I've never done drugs.
Really?
But I can't come out and say, like, oh, I'm 40 years sober, like, and it's like some people coming out saying that they're 17 years sober. But yeah, you've been sober for 17 years, but you got to have a little fun in there too, I don't know. It's like a best of both worlds kind of deal.
I haven't raped anybody in 20 years. Oh, look at this guy. Good for him.
Good job.
Yeah, way to keep it in your pants.
You know what? In some weird circles, you might actually get credit for that. Like if you were a child molester in the 70s, but you've been able to hold yourself in check, for the last, 50 years or 45. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in some weird way, it's like, I'm so proud of you. You've been able to not rape a kid.
Yeah. Stop announcing that you can't handle your liquor. It's just not cool. That's even worse than being an alcoholic. Is being a recovering alcoholic. Just keep that shit at home. I don't need to hear that shit. Fucking handle your liquor. Handle your fucking drugs. Pick your drugs wisely. I love that, like Lemmy said, just don't do heroin, okay? Heroin's bad. Heroin never ends well. Do everything else, But it's like you don't get a fucking medal because, you sucked at something so bad you had to quit, Like, yeah, it would be nice to give, like, Sammy Hagar a medal for, 20 years since he put out an album. That's commendable. Like, thanks, pal.
Right.
But I don't want to hear, like, I've stopped drinking and thanks my higher power. Go fuck yourself. Ugh. All right, what's your story? Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, and look what happened to Jack Osbourne. Okay? His trophy wife left him. He got MS. And you know what I attribute that to? His post, 17 years sober. Would have kept that shit inside. He'd be a healthy man. True story.
True story. Jane's Addictions, Dave Navarro. Jane's Addictions, Dave Navarro selling art prints to better the lives of the homeless community. So you need to take back what you said about Dave Navarro earlier.
No, he needs to take back that new fucking haircut he's got. Jesus Christ, does that look fucking stupid or what?
New haircut. He's had that same haircut for the last 15, 20 years. It's like it's always shaved on one side and cut perfectly to the chin.
Well, maybe for the last 20 years, every time I see a story with Dave Navarro, I just scroll past it. This guy pisses me off.
You didn't watch Ink Masters?
No, I don't even... I can't watch that shit, man, because I think this guy is so fucking talented. So fucking talented. I think he is a great, great guitar player. But you want to talk about somebody who just doesn't give a shit. His heart's in the wrong place. Yeah, I read reports when he was in the Chili Peppers. Like, he wanted to get paid to practice. That's how much he just doesn't care. It's like, it's just a paycheck to him. And it's scary because there's so many shitty guitar players out there. And I think he's a really good guitar player. And he just doesn't care about it. Like, he should be put, with his talent, he should be putting out multiple albums. Like recording all the time. And putting shit out. Because he's that good. In my opinion. But no, unless there's a paycheck, he just doesn't care. He'd rather do like fucking Ink Masters. And I'm just like, what a waste of fucking talent. What a waste of talent. And then, he puts out a solo album. It's not even a guitar album. God, that solo album was so fucking shitty. So fucking shitty. Like, dude, his guitar work in Jane's Addiction is fucking amazing. I think his guitar work on One Hot Minute, the Chili Peppers album he did, was amazing. I saw him live with the Chili Peppers. It was fucking amazing. But this guy is a gay for pay or gay for play or I don't know. That haircut's gay. Oh my God!
I'm a big fan of his work in Jane's Addiction. I was never a big Chili Peppers fan, but I do like Jane's Addiction.
Right. But it's just like he don't care. I don't know. As an artist, you should have a drive to create. If you're a true artist, that's why I hate all these. It's such a lazy fucking answer. Like, I don't want to put out a new album because nobody buys records anymore anyway. Well, if you're really an artist, you shouldn't care about that. There should be something compelling about creating music. That you just keep going no matter what. It's like you have to do it. And there are artists out there like that. Buckethead puts out 2 albums a fucking day. Nobody buys them. But that's somebody who just has to be creative.
Yeah.
That has a gift and just loves music. That has to put it out. That's why I love, even when older bands put out new albums that suck, I at least give them the respect, well, you tried. It didn't work, but at least you're trying to create new music. You're not just, hey, we're Guns N' Roses, we're touring behind fucking Appetite for Destruction still, That's just fucking lazy. That's yeah. If you're a true musician, you create. I'm a fucking, I'm a joke teller. I get on here and I tell jokes, goddammit. I have to tell jokes. Even if they suck or you heard them a bunch, I gotta do it, It's my calling, I'm not doing this shit for the fucking money. Sure as fuck ain't doing it for the money, Well,
I mean, you did ask me to pay you to do show prep, so.
I need money. But, you know what I mean? Something should be your passion, man. I mean, if you're a musician, that should be what you want to do, I hate hearing, like fucking D. Snyder. Oh, I don't want to put out a new album. Nobody will listen. Nobody will buy it. Well, fucking, if you really cared, you would try. If it was really your passion. But obviously, it's just a day job. Like, oh, I'll just sit there and license out fucking I Want to Rock, or We're Not Going to Take It to whatever commercial or fucking movie wants to use it. And I'll just live off that. Because if you really cared about writing music, you'd still do it.
Speaking of that, on the last episode, we talked about the rat commercial. And I actually hadn't seen it when you talked about it, but I saw it the other day watching TV. I thought it was pretty funny. I was like, you got a rat problem, rats all through the house, rocking. I mean, that is very clever. So
it's funny. And hey, Stephen Pearcy just had there's a story, he's putting out another solo album. And his solo albums aren't that great. But you know what? At least he feels compelled to try.
Yeah.
Because he could just sit there and, just do round and round, but he's trying to write new music now, whether you like it or not. But at least it shows that a man in his 60s still wants to write a new song, and he's hoping you like it.
Do you think he wants to write a new album, or does he want that $10,000 check from Frontiers?
I think you're going to make more money off of touring. That would be the easy way to do it. If you just wanted money, you're going to make more money off of touring than you are with the record deal. And at least you're trying. I wish these guys were writing more quality shit. Like Judas Priest. When Judas Priest, I know you can't stand him, you homophobe.
Who?
But Firepower. wow, there's a band that long in the tooth putting out an album that good is an anomaly. But they never would have done it if they didn't try. You know, other bands need to fucking try. The lazy answer is, oh, nobody buys records anymore. That's basically covering up for the fact that you can't write a fucking song anymore. Or you don't care enough to even try. That money is your only motivation. Artistry should be your motivation. You know, your desire to create should be your motivation first. You know, as an artist.
So. You got one more and then we'll do an album of the week.
Yeah, all right. Let's see. Let me see if I can find another story. Oh. I had one, but I got to do this one. Holy cow. And maybe I'm a little late to the game here because I took like a month off of social media and shit. But Puddle of Mudd covering Nirvana.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
I made it through about 3/4. Now, you know, here's a horrible band to begin with. But my thing is, like, you know, I kept looking when they would show the other members of the band. You know, like, I just wanted to see them start shaking their head. Because musically, they covered it great. I can't fault them. Sounded great musically. But, oh my God, he was trying to do... Like, so obviously, he's trying to do a bad Kurt Cobain. You know, and Kurt Cobain wasn't the best singer, but when he sang, it came across sincere. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of singers that I love that technically don't have a great voice, but their passion comes across in their performance. Neil Young, Bob Dylan, you know, hell, you can even go so far as David Lee Roth, you know, especially in the later years. Not the best voice, but they believe it so much they sell it.
Yeah,
you know. But here's a guy who technically his singing voice, you know, isn't that bad. You know, I can see him as a karaoke singer. But he's trying to do such a, you know, I'm trying to be Kurt Cobain and I'm trying to be edgy. It's like, stay in your fucking lane, dude. Stay in your lane. You're like Coldplay alternative. I mean, you're so fucking bland, you know. you're not butter, you're margarine, you know.
I think to listen to this whole thing, it's like a war of attrition. If you can make it from start to finish of this cover, you've done something with your life. Honestly, I think from a musical standpoint, you're right. The band killed it. I think he needed to tune it down like a step. I think it was just his voice didn't go up that high, so he's like trying to get there, and he's also trying to be grungy. So it's just like a train wreck of different musical styles and all this. But it's just a train wreck of emotion and music coming together that I think the song did not suit his voice at all. And if they maybe tuned it down, played it a step lower, maybe would have been a lot better. But Jesus Christ, this dude cannot hit the notes at all.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to do it, you know, do it in your own style, in your own voice. Don't try to be Kurt Cobain, you know, because that takes it to another level of suck. You know, first of all, you're a fucking, you know, Z-list band to begin with. And here's another guy like, oh, I haven't got arrested this week. You know,
Right.
I haven't drank in 17 hours. And my child support payment's only 2 weeks late. You know, who gives a fuck? You know, Puddle of Mudd. I mean, really? Really? God, what is Days of the New going to be in the next fucking week's Blabbermouth? Oh, my God.
Did you see where he has clapped back at all the haters of that, though?
Yeah. Yeah.
He says that critics... after his Nirvana cover are toxic people that are a waste of time.
And to an extent, I do agree with him. Because there is a whole, you know, and everybody's been guilty of it. It's easy to hate on shit, you know. It's easy to hate on shit. But sometimes it deserves it, you know. Sometimes people just hate to hate, But this, dude, you deserve it. This was terrible. You ought to be ashamed of it, and you can't get mad if people make fun of this shit. If he watches it back and he was honest, he should, at least have the balls to come out and admit, like, yeah, I fucked that up,
That's one of those things where I don't know how it's still up. Like, if I was him, I'd be like, take it down, or how did it go? I get playing it live once and being like, no, like, delete that. But yeah, I can't believe that they put that out as a, Sirius Octane video. It's like they're like, hey, check out what we did over on Sirius Octane.
Yeah, and, I mean that was so bad. I would change my name. Like no, this ain't Puddle of Mudd. We're a sack of shit. This. Oh
no,
we're
the we're not Puddle of Mudd. We're the Decibel Geek podcast.
Oh hey now. I know the one guy's a Pollock and all, but that was harsh. But yeah, that was pretty fucking bad. That was pretty bad, and he deserves all that criticism. And he should rethink his life choices,
This is truly one of those times where if you criticize this and someone says, well, let me see you do a better job, you could do a better job.
I know I could. I should do that. I should do a cover of it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think I'll work on that.
Yeah.
Learn that shit on bass.
Will do. I've been learning some Dave Ellefson bass lines like the last 2 weeks in quarantine or whatever.
Oh, yeah?
He's a monster bass player. It's like just learning what he did on some of those classic albums. You're like, Jesus Christ, calm down.
I do love me some Dave Ellefson.
Good dude.
Yeah, good dude. He was nice when I interviewed him, and I'm glad he's back in Megadeth.
Absolutely.
Wasn't Megadeth to me without Ellefson there. Dig me some Junior.
You didn't like the dude from White Lion being in the band?
Lamenzo? Oh, man, I got Lamenzo can play, but it's just like the dude from White Lion and Megadeth. I'm like, that'd be like Blas Elias from Slaughter is the new drummer in fucking Slayer. Like, hey, you might be able to play drums, but no. No, I'm okay. I'm all right.
What's funny is of the glam band era bands, actually White Lion's one I dug.
Oh man, I always well, actually, I ain't gonna lie. They have one song that I like. I like the song "Wait." That's
a jam. I've acted that song out before. Like the ladies leaving.
Oh man.
Wait.
Yeah, a lot of women sing that to me when I'm fucking them. Like, wait, don't come already. It's only been 2 seconds.
I never had a chance to love you.
Yeah. Like, oh, really, bitch? It's a race and you lost. But no, I never liked White Lion, and I hate When the Children Cry. Oh my God, do I hate that fucking song. I hate that fucking song. And their cover of Radar Love is like, whatever. The song Little Fighter, that was fucking horrible. I don't know. A lot of people like to suck the dick of Vito Bratta and think he was great. To me, I don't know. I never got it. He never sounded like a standout to me. But, Wait was doable. But to me, when you commit a crime as vile as When the Children Cry, there's no coming back. There's no coming back from that,
Oh, man.
And at least Vito Bratta, it's like he accepted that. He's like, you know what? Ian's right. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop, and I'm never going to come back to music because Ian hates that song so much. And I was like, you know what? That's the right thing to do. But you know what? You know what else I love about Vito Bratta? You never see Vito Bratta going on Blabbermouth going, it's been 17 years since I played White Lion songs. He keeps that shit to himself.
Well, he is the new Vinnie Vincent, so.
No, he's better than Vinnie Vincent because he ain't trying to sell nothing, and he ain't out there fucking playing When the Children Cry because he knows better. God.
Sound like you're going to come get him for that, and he knows better.
Yeah. Let's just say he knows his place. He knows his place. I can't control Mike Tramp so much, but at least Vito Prada knows when to say no. I'll give
Mike
him that.
Tramp's all over the place.
Yeah,
all right,
he don't give a
all right, man. Well, you want to do album of the week?
Yeah, man. This is our first epic episode. I'm so excited about this. I can't wait to hear the feedback on this one. I think it's going to be amazing. Even if it takes you a while to edit this and put on your little bells and whistles, it'll be worth it. Because we haven't even got to the album of the week. And this is one I let you pick this week. I said, again, I let you pick the last one. I said, hey, you pick a band, an album, whatever.
Album review.
And you simply sent me Deftones, which I knew right away. I was like, oh, this is great. The people that are already not sure of Toomey, this is really going to piss them off. But hey, fuck it. I love the Deftones. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I think this is a great band. And of course, my first thought was, well, we're a new show. We want people to listen. Maybe we should talk about White Pony. And then I was like, fuck that shit, man. Fuck that shit. We're going to talk about No Yokan. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I was going to go
Anyway.
No Yokan.
Yeah. And, hey, man, this is an album that I really, really love by these guys. I don't know. I mean, it did well, but I don't think it's as, talked about as much as Adrenaline or Around the Fur or, of course, White Pony. But I think it's just as good, and in some cases, better than those.
Yeah, it was one of those things where we were driving. We actually got out to go get some essential items today, and I was like, let's put on, Koi no Yokan, because I need to listen to it again to do it for the show tonight. And she was like, why this album? And I was like, well, it's not the most popular. And when we put it on, I was like, oh yeah, this is not, when Swerve City comes on, you're like, that's fucking great jam.
That fucking riff on Swerve City is amazing.
Yeah, Deftones are definitely one of those bands that when people say they don't like Deftones, I'm just like, I don't get it. It's like when someone says they don't like Judas Priest, like people freak out. It's like when people say they don't like the Deftones, to me, I'm like, I don't get how you can't not like the Deftones, how you can't not like them. Because they're just a good band.
All right, well, I'm on the opposite end of that because I completely understand why there's certain people that don't like the Deftones or won't give them the time of day. Initially, I can see it because they came up during the nu metal era. And a lot of people metal fans who hate that era, they hear that name and they're going to be like, no. And in the early era of the Deftones, specifically on Adrenaline, definitely more of a rap metal influence that I think really went away after the first album.
Yeah.
There was a few songs here and there, but the first album you definitely hear more of a rap metal influence. And I think it's funny. I saw this band when they opened up for Pantera and White Zombie, and I don't know if that was Adrenaline or Around the Fur.
That would have been Adrenaline.
Adrenaline, yeah. And dude, I was so unreceptive. I was like, Deftones? I was like, what the fuck? This sounds like that fucking, I didn't even know a song. and just like seeing their T-shirts at the T-shirt stand, like what's this, like some corn bullshit, you know? And I was very against any of this new metal shit right from the jump. Didn't have no fucking guitar solos, a bunch of wham wham, daddy fuck me fucking lyrics and shit, you know? All sad sack shit. Like, fuck this shit, you know? Either I want to hear about somebody getting laid, or I want to hear about Satan, you know?
Or somebody fucking Satan.
Yeah, and these guys are like, oh, the quarterback fucking gave me a wedgie. Ooh, I wear mascara. You know, so I get why a lot of people hated fucking new metal. Especially, like, even musically, you take away the guitar solos and shit like that, you know, and so I get that. But I think a lot of people who have preconceived notions about the Deftones, it's exactly that, preconceived notions. Because I wrote them all. I saw them live, and I gotta admit, I listened to them, you know, with my eyes. I didn't listen to, you know, I was just like, oh, fuck this, you know, when's White Zombie coming on? When's Pantera coming on? Fuck this new shit.
Well, that's a rough bill for them to open if you don't know who they are, too.
Oh, yeah, but I finally gave them a chance around White Pony. And because I like, you know, Change in the House Flies and stuff. I was like, it's actually pretty good. And then I checked it out. I was like, this ain't too bad. And I did listen to some new metal around that time. Not a lot, but some. You know, but when I heard White Pony, then I was like, this band's got a lot more to offer than 99% of what's considered new metal. I'm like, there's something different going on here. And then when I dug more, you know, I went back to Around the Fur and Adrenaline. I really dug it. But to me, it's like where they've gone since then that's solidified how awesome this band is. And if that's something that turned you off, you know, like the whole rap metal shit, give these guys a chance. If you're a fan of alternative metal and fucking like art rock and shit like that, because that's really what these guys are. And what I love about them is to me, they have their own sound. To me, there's no band that sounds like Deftones but Deftones.
Right.
And they are a sum of their parts. Their drummer, oh my God, Abe Cunningham, I believe is his name, is so tight. So fucking tight. You know, he's not Dave Lombardo or something like it, but what he does, he's so tight and solid and always keeps that beat. They've had two amazing bass players. Unfortunately, you know, Che died. The new guy they got, Sergio, is fucking awesome. And Stefan, the guitar player, what's funny about this guy is he's so fucking metal. Like, he is the metal guy of the band. But to me, he's like a heavy metal Johnny Marr. Because he doesn't solo, but he has these fucking riffs, but he does these soundscapes that are fucking amazing. And since the second album, they've had a guy, Frank, that does like you know, samples and scratching and all that shit. But it's not like, you know, like wiki 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 wiki. Hear the drummer get wicked. Wiki wiki wiki. Hear the drummer get wicked. You know, it's more like he adds an atmosphere to the music that is awesome. That is way more than like what fucking DJ Lethal did in Limp Bizkit. You know, because that was like wiki wiki. Hear the drummer get wicked. You know, that's what DJ Lethal did with that. You know, what Frank does with Deftones, I think, is very understated. Like, nobody talks about that guy. And I think he's very important to the sound and the evolution of the band. And then you got Chino, who, to me, is like on, you know, Mike Patton level genius.
Right.
And I get only Mike Patton is Mike Patton. But Chino, to me, is you know, if Patton's the king, Chino's the prince. This guy, when he sings, he can sing the fucking phone book, and when he screams, he can scream with the fucking best of them.
The Yellow Pages.
And it's the juxtaposition of him going back and forth between the singing and the screaming. And just a different element, because he comes from kind of a different world. Like, he fully admits, like, hey, I love The Cure, I love Depeche Mode, The Smiths, I love Culture Club, you know,
Right.
I love metal too, but I mix all these influences in. And then you got, you know, Stefan on guitar, who comes in with these chunky fucking riffs. But again, it's not just that, it's the soundscapes. Like, I would love to hear him play guitar solo just once, you know? And if you read a lot of background into this band, every time there's a new album, it's almost like a Dokken thing, where, you know, it's between George and fucking Don. Well, in Deftones, it's between Stefan and Chino. You know, Stefan always wants it to be heavier, and Chino always wants it to be more experimental, and where they find the middle ground. And I just think it makes for a really interesting listen. And this is a band, like, put on some headphones and check out these guys, because there's a lot going on here. And I'm not going to lie and pretend I know what 95% of these songs are about, because I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. They have the weirdest fucking titles to the songs that have nothing to do with the lyrics. I don't know what they're about, but god damn it, the way they do it, it's almost like the Doors. I love the, you know, it sounds nothing like the Doors, of course, but I have no idea what the fuck Jim Morrison is saying. I do not get that fucking poetry. But all I know is when I hear it, it's fucking music to my ears.
Yeah.
And it's fucking amazing. And that's how it is with Chino. I don't know what the fuck he's singing about. If I took a guess, I'd probably be wrong. But it's the way he sings it, and with the emotion and what he does. And I've followed him in all his side projects, you know, Palms and fucking Crosses and all this other shit. You know, killer shit. But Deftones, to me, are a very special band and an original band that has stuck to their guns. And another thing I love is, you know, they turned down a lot of tours and did shit that was detrimental to their career, but they stuck to their guns and what they wanted to do. They had all kinds of offers to tour with Korn and to tour with Limp Bizkit, and they always turned it down. And they said, hey, we're not saying we're better, you know, we're just saying we're following our own path, and we don't want to be lumped in like we're this or we're that. And, you know, I saw an interview with Chino where he was talking about how MTV approached him, wanted to play this, you know, MTV Spring Break. Like, oh, we want to get the Deftones. And Chino's like, you know, we're not like Spring Break music. You know, that's not our scene. And they turned it down. And they ended up getting Limp Bizkit. And then Limp Bizkit blew the fuck up. You know, he's like, was that a bad decision not to do it? He goes, maybe. He goes, but it just didn't feel right. You know, we're just not that kind of band. And I love that integrity. That, like, hey, this might not be the smartest decision, but this is what we feel in our heart. And I think that comes across in the music when you listen to it. All this, nothing from them sounds forced. It just sounds, this is what's coming out of these guys. And I think this album in particular is really solid. You know, they had a resurgence with the previous album, Diamond Eyes, which was the first one they did after Che's death. And I loved the album before that. Saturday Night Wrist, I thought was good. There was some songs on it. It's not a fan favorite, but I dug it. But everybody really seemed to agree that you know, they found their way back with Diamond Eyes. But then this one came out, and I think they even trumped Diamond Eyes. I mean, this one, I mean, look at this. Swerve City, Romantic Dreams, Leathers, Poltergeist.
Tempest,
Tempest, Gaze, Rosemary. I mean, you know, Entombed. There's some really, really good songs on this. And again, this is some shit. Put the headphones on, because there's so much stuff going on in the background you won't catch with this band unless you got headphones on. And this is the album. I put up a post today on our Facebook page about the lost art of getting lost in an album. And I fully admit I stole that from Baco. Baco posted it. I shared it. But stop listening to shit as sound bites. Stop listening to shit as singles. Put on some headphones. Put your fucking phone down and listen to a fucking album. And I think this is one that's very rewarding, and one I hope a lot of people, after this episode, take a chance on. Even if you have a preconceived notion, like, well, I saw that video, I didn't like that song. Give this one a try. That's all I'm saying. The album's like 51 minutes. Well, 51 minutes and 50 seconds. All right?
51:50.
Oh, man, you just ruined it for me. Okay. Well, listen to the first song twice.
There you go.
So you exceed that, that gooch number. Oh man, you really that really fucked my head up.
Well, I did want to say that I think that the Deftones are kind of I think like a lot of bands, they always talk about Rush. They always talk about like a band's band. Like musicians' band. Maybe like even like a Dream Theater or something. Like a lot of musicians love this band for some reason. And I think when you see bands from all genres, they'll be like, I was just had the dude from Chimera on. He's like, well, we were listening to a lot of Obituary, Deicide, and the Deftones. And then you get like a band, in the emo scene, and they're like, oh, we liked Thursday and Taking Back Sunday and Deftones. It's like every genre can like the Deftones. Like they're probably the most influential band that's not Metallica level. They're always going to be, the third to the headliner of a festival or something. They're never going to be the headliner, but yet every band on the bill at some point has been like, yeah, it was kind of a Deftones part we wrote right there. It's a very, they're very influential, and I think a lot of, I don't understand the hate for them, I guess, a little bit, because, it's not like they're wearing masks. They're not wearing Adidas tracksuits. They're not, there's no gimmick here. It's just good music.
Right.
Like a lot of the new metal bands had a gimmick. They were just kind of some dudes that played music.
And I think it's funny, if you know the history of the band, when they released Around the Fur was really where they broke out.
Oh, yeah.
And then they did White Pony. And when White Pony initially came out, it did okay, nothing special. And the record company came back to them and said, hey, you got to get on the Limp Bizkit tip. You got to do this rap rock thing. And they were kind of insulted. But then Chino's like, really? That's what you want? Like, I could knock that out in no time. I could do that with my eyes closed. And that's when they did Mini Maggot. And they did the re-release of the album with Mini Maggot on there. And I ain't gonna lie, I actually like that song. But it's funny because he just showed like, oh, you want like a rap, chorus, rap chorus song? I can do that, and they recorded it like in a couple hours, wrote it and recorded in a couple hours. And that got traction at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But they never did that again. They even said like, hey, we knew it was wrong, but the record company said if we didn't do it, they were going to pull funding for the album. And a lot of our hardcore fans said they didn't like it, and they've never done anything like that since. So there's never been, since that track, anything that's remotely like rap rock or anything like that. They followed their own path, and to their credit, they're still, in this day and age, on a major label. They're still on Warner Brothers, in a day and age where everybody else is on fucking Frontiers,
Right.
And they're not, it's not like their albums still go platinum. The last album they had that sold well was their fourth album, the self-titled album. But the record company still keeps them because I think they believe in them as artists. And they really are to me. But I like arty shit. I like experimental shit. Like Faith No More. They remind me of Faith No More in a lot of ways. Not sonically, but in just their approach to just going outside the norm and doing something, doing whatever they believe in. Like
Right.
I've never heard a Deftones album where like, oh, I mean, other than the song Mini Magnet, like, oh, they trying to get on the radio with this shit. No, they don't do that. They do what they want to do. And I just think this is a really strong album. The one after this, Gore, their last album, I got to admit, that one hasn't grabbed me yet. But I got to say, it's not because I think they tried to follow a different path or, like they sold out. I just don't think it's as well written, and it's well documented during the recording that there was a lot of turmoil, even for Deftones, between Stefan and Chino as far as the direction of that album. And I don't think that one hit. But I'm excited about the new album because they've also got Terry Date back, who Terry Date did their first 4 albums. And they got Terry Date because they loved Pantera. And they said, hey, we don't want to sound like Pantera, but we love the way you made Pantera sound, and that's what we want you to do with us. And so I'm excited to hear anything Terry Date's involved with,
Oh, yeah.
Very, very excited. Hope it comes out soon, but I'm glad that when you revisited this, because I was kind of wondering what your response was going to be like. When you said Deftones, I figured you probably thought I was going to pick White Pony or Around the Fur. And when I picked this, but that's me assuming about you again. But when I text you this morning, actually, is when I text you. And I said, I want to do Koi no Yukin. And you're like, cool. And I was like, right on. But so it had been a while since you heard this. Did you enjoy listening to this album again?
Yeah, man, it was this. Some of these middle albums, it's like I was like, oh yeah, that's on that and that's on this. For some reason I thought that this was Saturday Night Wrist. So when it started playing, I was like, oh yeah, okay. So it's just I didn't realize it had only been 2012 since this came out. I figured it was a little bit older than that, but yeah, man, it's Deftones really can't do wrong. It's one of those things like bad Deftones is still good Deftones.
What's what's your favorite Deftones album?
I'm just the easy one is to say is White Pony. That's a banger from start to finish.
Yeah. What about least favorite? Is there one you didn't get, or just a least?
Honestly,
favorite?
probably just be Gore. That's the one I just never really got into. But
okay, so we agree on that. I know one I really changed my opinion on was the self-titled one, the 4th one. I remember buying that after, I really became a fan with White Pony. And then when the self-titled one came out, I just didn't get it at first. I was really disappointed. But as time's gone on, I've really warmed up to that record a lot more.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that one? It's got Hexagram and
okay.
Mervina.
Now that I see the cover.
However the fuck you pronounce that. And, Saturday Night Wrist is one a lot of people are like, about. But I like a lot of that album. Like, Maine, the song with Surge from System of a Down.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good song. And I think another great... Well, here's another band that really divides people, is Tool. A lot of people love Tool and hate Tool. But to me, it shows a lot that, like, Maynard would do a song with these guys. Because Maynard, to me, is a guy very much of integrity. He's not going to do a guest spot on an album if he doesn't believe in the band.
Right.
Or if he thinks they're a sack of shit, and for him to do, The Passenger on White Pony, which is just like, holy fuck, is that an epic fucking track. I mean, Passenger is, holy shit, is that amazing.
It's definitely amazing. Yeah.
If there's
Overall,
people out there...
I
was just going to say, if there's people out there, I think Tool's good, but I don't like Deftones. Well, Maynard liked them and did a fucking amazing song with them. A classic fucking song with them.
All right, man. Well, yeah, so we both love Deftones, and you should too.
Yeah, so Koi no Yukin, man. Check this one out, man. And again, I want to see you on the Facebook page, man. Give this album a listen to, man. Take those 5150s and listen
Take
to this
5150
shit
out
and,
of your day.
And buy a copy with bonus tracks, so it's not that long. But I want to hear what people think, man. Is this an album you already liked? Is it something like, hey, I think that's pretty good, or nah, it's as shitty as I thought it was going to be? But I would like people, give it a chance, listen to it, and let us know on the Facebook page.
And if you listen to it with your lady around, you're probably going to get laid.
Oh, yeah. Chicks love fucking Deftones, man. It's like right there with Typo Negative, and shit like that, man. Chicks love this shit, man, because Chino sings sexy, yo. He sings sexy.
It's a musical Spanish fly.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's racist.
No, not the Spanish flu.
Oh. Oh, that's okay then.
All right.
Well, check this album out. Now, why don't we go into something old, something new?
Something old, something new.
All right. Well, my something new is, I don't know how new it is, but I think it fits in with, what we're talking about, which is the Deftones. And to me, because I'm old, old shit is even new to me. I'm going with the studio album before this, 2010's Diamond Eyes. I think is a really strong album from these guys. Again, they were recording an album called Eros or Eronus, or I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it.
Some shit Eros, like, E-R-O-S, right?
Yeah. And so they recorded about half of it, I think, and the horrible accident happened to Che. And they were going to just finish the album, and they said, fuck it, we're going to start from scratch. And that's what they did, and they came out with an amazing fucking album. The title track, you've seen the Butcher, Beauty School, Rat Skates, Sex Tape. I mean, there are a lot of great songs on this album. And a good mix of old school sounding Deftones with with new melodic shit. Just a really, really strong album. And this album's got, rave reviews, from fans, from music critics. I recommend this, just as much as the album we just talked about. If you want to give them a first chance or a second chance, great one to start with here. Great one. Diamond Eyes. That's my something new.
All right. Well, since we're 10 years is about the depth of our something new, I will go with 2011's the band is Times of Grace. It's the original singer and current singer of Killswitch Engage and guitar player from Killswitch Engage, kind of a side project they did in 2011. And I actually got turned on to this just a couple of days ago by listening to Jesse Leach on a podcast with Rob Flynn, and they were talking about, Rob was just going on and on and on about how great of an album this was. And I was like, you know what? I never gave it a chance. And I always thought Times of Grace just reminded me of Neurosis, which I love Neurosis. So I don't know why I never gave the
and Tribes of Neurotic.
Mm-hmm. So he was going on and on and on about the album. So I listened to it a couple of times at work, and it's like, man, this is actually really, really good. So yeah, my something new-ish is the 2011 Times of Grace album, The Hymn of a Broken Man.
All right, well, I will check that out because I took your advice on the last episode, that Warbringer. I forgot I had checked that out already, man. Those guys kick ass. That's some good shit, that fucking Warbringer, man. So I'm going to stick with your taste on that and check out Times of Grace. Yeah, I got it. That's the first thing I thought of when you said that. I was like, Neurosis? I'm like, what?
Right. Yeah, the funny side Warbringer story. I don't think I've ever had this happen yet in the 5 years of Talk to Me. But I was taking the trash out today, and my phone rang, and I looked down, and I'm like, this number looks really familiar. So I answered it, and he's like, "Hey, this is John Keeble from Warbringer. We've got an interview." I'm like, "Man, we did that interview last week. It's already out." But he was like, "Oh shit." He's like, "Well, then I guess I was just calling to see how your day was going." And so I talked to him for a minute, and then we got off the phone. But yeah, it was pretty funny that he just randomly called me thinking that we had an interview today.
See, you're so cool. That kind of happens to me, but it's always Ron Keel.
Right.
And I'm like, no, Ron Keel, I already talked to you. And you didn't laugh at my jokes.
Not again.
Not again, Ron Keel.
Is that your something new, the new Ron Keel South by South Dakota?
No. Okay. But I like Ron Keel. He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Fantastic dude.
I'd like to drink with him more than listen to his music. I know that's terrible to say, but it's true. All right, well, now it's time for my something old, and I'm getting in the old time travel machine, and I'm going all the way back to the year 1983. And I'm going to talk about the debut album from Suicidal Tendencies.
Yesterday, as I went out the house, I saw a body lying down white as a mouse, lying face down in the sewer. I got up closer and realized that I knew her. All her organs coming from her insides, slashed up skin, sliced up hides. Turned her over and saw the tar tracks on her head. That's when I realized she was dead. I saw your mommy and your mommy's dead. I saw your mommy and your mommy's dead.
Nice.
Holy shit, do I love this album. I'm a huge Suicidal Tendencies fan of all eras. Of all eras. Of course, yeah, nothing competes with the classic shit. But even the classic shit, in and of itself, had a lot of different eras and a lot of different sounds. But nothing sounds like the debut. That's when they were a punk band. This is a punk album. Punk at its finest. Some SoCal punk. Oh my God. I Saw Your Mommy. Institutionalized. I Want More. I mean, the whole album is just amazing. The only album recorded with this lineup. A fucking masterpiece that still sounds just as fresh today as when it came out. And, unfortunately they did that horrible re-recording of it. Don't buy that album. Even if you're a completist, don't buy it. I mean, if you really got to have it, let me know. I'll send it to you so you can download it. Don't buy it. Oh, God, still psycho after all these years. So fucking horrible. But the original is just fucking amazing. Timeless fucking album. And just a great one. I think, some people might know, of course, they know the, Join the Army, which is probably the closest to the first album, but still so different. But no, Lights, Camera, Revolution and shit like that. No, check out the first album when they were a true punk band. What is your something old this week?
Well, my something old, and I'm going to take a cue from you from not necessarily staying in metal.
Nice!
I had a hardcore album lined up, but you know what? I'm going to pull an audible, and I'm going to go with, let's see here. I'm going to go with the 1993 classic, Doggy Style.
As I look up at the sky, my mind starts tripping, a tear drops my eye. My body temperature falls. I'm shaking and they breaking, trying to save the dough. Pumping on my chest and I'm screaming. I stop breathing, damn, I see demons. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? I can't die, my boo-boo's about to have my baby. I think it's too late for praying. Hold up, her voice spoke to me and it slowly started saying,
bring your lifestyle to me, I'll make it better.
how long will I live?
Eternal life better forever.
Or will I be the G that I
I'll make your
was?
life better than you can imagine or even dream of. So relax your soul, let me take control. Close your eyes, my son.
My eyes are closed.
Murder was the case that they gave me.
Oh,
Bringing
Snoop
up some
Dogg, huh?
Snoop Dogg here. Yeah, man. It's like you can't go wrong with this album. Start to finish, man. What a banger.
I've never listened to that album.
What?
I don't. Hey, I gotta be honest here. I know the songs that were videos, and I love those songs, and I actually have the MP3 of it, but I never listened to the album as a whole. You find it listenable from start to finish?
I think start to finish is kind of the way you got to do this album because it's got interludes and they've got that kind of some.
No, I like that because there's one rap album that I can listen to from start to finish, and that is Ice-T's OG.
Nice.
Original Gangster. And that is one I really love. And there's some other old school rap that I like, but being honest here, getting through a whole album, even stuff I love like fucking some old Ice Cube and Public Enemy and shit like that, to get through a whole album is kind of pressing. But I might have to do this. God, and that just sounds so fun right now. Like I got a little bit of a buzz. like I can see put on some Snoop Dogg. I love Snoop Dogg. I mean, as a person, as a presence, I love the kind of music that he makes is the rap that speaks to me, much more than what you have now. I'd much rather listen to Snoop Dogg than Kendrick Lamar.
Right. Yeah, it's fun, man. I was actually looking at the track listing here to see how deep it goes, and I mean all the way down to G's Up, Hose Down, G's and Hustlers. You got Doggy Doggy World, Ain't No Fun If the Homies Can't Have
down
None.
while you motherfuckers bounce to this.
Yes, Serial Killer, Murder Was the Case, Lottie Da. I mean, it's you can't go wrong with it. Even the interlude like W Balls. I mean, that's a banger right there, just in an interlude.
All right, well, the rest of my night's set. After this, I'm going to listen to Doggy Style. That's going to be an immediate for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's got the interludes, it's got skits, and they kind of just run into each other. So you got kind of like a one big long just Snoop Dogg fest. You're not gonna. It's got some singles and stuff, but you can definitely put this on and just leave it on.
I'm going to check that. I am. It's weird that you say because I'm perfectly in the happy mood where I could listen to that, drinking my coronavirus vodka. Fuck it. Tomorrow can worry about itself. I'm in a good mood for that. But
nice.
Before we leave here, Another thing
Okay.
we talk about that people love that we do here. It's already a fucking super long extended episode, and everybody's been on a lot of people have been on a vacation or a staycation, and people are watching stuff. And I've watched a lot of movies lately. And I've seen some, I've watched a lot of new shit. I took some times, like, I have so many movies that I've seen over and over. But I'm like, let me watch some new shit. And I've seen a lot of horse shit, and I've seen a couple good ones. And I'm going to say real quick without getting into it, I got 3 movies stay the fuck away from. Absolutely fucking horrible. Horrible. The Turning is a horror movie with the kid from Stranger Things.
Okay.
Fucking horrible. Horrible. Bloodshot. A comic book movie with fucking Vin Diesel.
Yep.
Fucking horrible. Stay the fuck away from that piece of shit.
All right.
Another one to stay the fuck away from, the Rhythm Section. This is with the lovely Blake Lively, that chick that's married to Ryan Reynolds. Hot piece of ass. Horrible movie. Horrible. And I had hopes because it's like from the producers that do the James Bond movies. I couldn't even get through the whole fucking movie. The other 2 movies that I mentioned were horrible, but I still watched the whole fucking thing. That one was so bad, I just cut my losses halfway through. Like, I would rather watch some old porn that I've already came to again than watch this shit. That was fucking horrible. But 2 movies that I enjoyed, and a total different spectrum.
Okay.
A movie that I thoroughly enjoyed, I think is awesome, and I highly recommend, is The Gentleman. That's the latest movie from Guy Ritchie, who did Snatched and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and all that shit. And he did like the Sherlock Holmes movies, the new ones with Robert Downey Jr. and shit. But The Gentleman is a great return to form for Guy Ritchie. I think goes back to like Snatch era shit. It's a really good movie. Matthew McConaughey in it. Charlie, whatever the fuck his name is, a good dude. Jax, the dude every chick masturbates to from Sons of Anarchy.
Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam. The guy who delivers an amazing fucking performance is what's the dude who got caught with the black hooker that used to fuck Elizabeth Hurley? Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant is amazing in the movie. Really good. Really like. I never thought that much of Hugh Grant. I thought the coolest thing he did was fuck the black hooker. But he does great in this movie. If you just like action, shoot 'em up kind of like cool gangster movies, The Gentleman, definitely high praise. And one that I fully admit is a popcorn movie. It's nothing spectacular, nothing going to change your life, but you could do a lot fucking worse, is Fantasy Island. This is one from Blumhouse. And they do kind of like a movie version of the classic 70s and 80s TV show, but they try to change it up on the horror tip and make it, change it up for today's audiences. It's not a fucking Academy Award winner. It's a popcorn movie. It's a B movie. But I went into it with zero expectations. I was like, oh, it got horrible reviews, but it's like I'm quarantined. What the fuck else am I going to do? I watched. It was enjoyable. So I'm not going to say, go out and buy it like I would say, gentlemen, like, buy that shit on 4K. That's definitely a keeper. This one, check it out. I think you'll like it. I enjoyed it. I like B movies though. But like good B movies, not like fucking, Michael Bay fucking garbage, Transformers bullshit.
Hey man, that Bumblebee movie, man.
You and that fucking Bumblebee. But no, I thought it was good. And since you've been on quarantine, have you watched anything good, anything bad that you've been checking out?
Today we finished Ozark, all 3 seasons. We we've been powering through them, and man, well, I'm absolutely in love with the show.
You were talking about that in the last episode. I do need to check that out. I put it on my list. The only thing that I'm pissed about Ozark is apparently there's an episode in this the most current season. I believe it's the third season. There's 3 seasons. Okay, that features REO Speedwagon, and it's had a resurgence in the sale of REO Speedwagon music, which pisses me off because I that is a horrible band that nobody should be like that's some REO Speedwagon. I don't give a fuck. Like oh yeah, but the old stuff is really good. Fuck you. That even at their best, that is some Sammy Hagar level fucking crap music. Fuck REO Speedwagon. That's some garbage.
Well, if you want to cancel out REO Speedwagon, they actually have another scene later in the season where they play. Don't want to give anything away to anybody that hadn't watched it yet, but they're playing Brujeria really loud, and the death metal, Spanish-speaking death metal side project of Dino and all those guys from Fear Factory.
That's how you pronounce that?
Brujeria, yeah, something like that.
Oh, okay, all right. Boy, was I way off. But I got a D in I got a D in Spanish. I ain't gonna lie. I took that shit because the teacher had like huge tits. She was like 22, like right out of college.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she was so hot. But yeah, I got a D.
Dude, when I was in like the 7th grade, our sex ed teacher had to have been 21 years old and just like a blonde. I mean, everything that you would ever want in a sex ed teacher. And it's just and you're just finding your body and everything's going on and you got hormones and emotions and she's up there talking about sex and I'm just like, this is not happening right now.
Oh, she? Never mind.
Never. And that year with Mr. Bosley was great.
Awesome. Well, Ozark, yeah, I definitely need to check. I've heard nothing but good shit about that. Any good movies that you've seen, or any bad movies that you want to steer people away from?
I don't think we've watched any movies in this. I mean, honestly, each episode of Ozark's an hour, and we've been watching 2 or 3 a night. So it's kind of like a movie a day.
Jason Bateman's in that, right?
Yeah, Teen Wolf 2.
Yeah, no, I love Jason Bateman. I think a very underrated actor. He can do comedy great. He can do drama great.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Arrested Development fan. And, yeah. Okay, well, I will definitely check that out. Well, this has been a epic episode of Diablos and Podcastica. But I think this is one for the history books. I think this was a very good one. And I can't wait to hear what you add or take away to this. And the little bells and whistles. So this one, if it was a little bit of weight, trust me, it'll be worth it. Because I don't think there's a whole lot you can edit from this, but I think there's a lot you can add to it. If you know what I'm saying, and I think you do.
You're going to see the file and it's be 45 minutes long. You'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this lazy piece of shit. He was watching Ozark.
Yeah, well, now I have a lot of free time. I don't have a show right now. I need to find a new show.
All right. Well, you have no excuse then.
Shit.
All right. Try Mr. Belvedere. And on that note, he is Joshua Toomey. I am Wadzilla. And I want to thank you for checking out another episode of Diablos in Podcastica.
Hail Satan.
Just because you can't spell it don't mean it ain't good.